Guys, welcome back to another Slightly Rednecked video. If you're not familiar with this channel, I help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. We're going to do something a little different today. Today I'm going to be responding to a couple of comments that came in on videos recently regarding why the quail haven't started laying eggs yet, which I've shot video on before, and some ideas on some stacking quail cages. So we're going to get right into that. Let me pull out my phone here so I can read you the comment. First one I'm going to be responding to is one from Anna Riley 7727, and she asks, why aren't you doing any more videos? Well, to answer that right off the bat, I still do videos, but I have had a hard time coming up with content. I've taken a little bit of a break. I'm a couple of weeks off of I haven't put a video out for a couple of weeks. So you helped me out by giving me a comment to respond to and get this video going. So I'm trying to get back in the groove. I'm working on it. I'll get back there. Anyway, she says, I've enjoyed your videos. There's some blah, blah, blah. She just built one of my quail cages like this right here off my instructional video I put out on that. Wants me to answer a question. She says, I had some quail 10 weeks ago and there was only 3 females and my dogs got 2 of them, so that left 1. As I said, they're 10 weeks old now and the female hasn't started laying and the males haven't even started crowing, I'm guessing is what she's saying. I had quail before about 3 years ago in Wisconsin, and the male will start crowing practically before I got him out of the brooder box, and the female started laying between 6 and 8 weeks. With the ones that are 10 weeks here, I took all the males out but 1, because she only has 1 female. My shed is dark, so I added some more light, and like I said, your size cage that you have, so they have plenty of room, what could be wrong with them? And I hope you get this because I really need to know. Well, this was 23 hours ago, so chances are probably haven't gotten them to start laying yet. But my guess, and it's just a guess because I don't know all the specifics yet, but you know, I can guess at it based on your description. You had a dog attack, got them. I don't know how long ago that dog attack was and how long ago it was you moved them into the hutch and all that. So there could be some stress related to that. Whenever quail get stressed out from moving or like a dog attack or something like that, they generally do shut down for a couple of weeks. The other thing is you said you added light. I don't know when you added the light or how much light you've added, but assuming you've got 14 hours a day of light, that's how much they need, about 14 hours a day of light in order to lay and for the roosters to crow. So my guess is that you just need to give them some time. Try not to pester them too much, leave them alone so they don't get too stressed out. Give them a little bit of time. Usually once you introduce the light, get it up to 14 hours a day, it's going to take about 2 weeks or so before you start seeing any kind of results from that, maybe 3 weeks. So you may just have to be a little bit patient, wait, give them a little bit more time. But it sounds like you're doing the right things. Just need to, you know, this time of year right now, if you haven't had light on them, that's why they haven't started laying yet. That may be why you saw roosters crowing and the hens laying between 6 to 8 weeks before, because it was summertime, extra long days, and that got them started a little bit quicker. But now we're going into fall, we're in wintertime, the days are really short, so unless you're adding the supplemental light, you won't see egg production. Now it sounds like you've added the light, but like I said, you may just need to give them about 2 more weeks, maybe 3, and you should start seeing some production from them. It just takes a little bit of time once that light gets to where it needs to be, once they get over the stress of the dog attack, moving into a new cage and all that kind of stuff. So try not to pester them, let them get settled in, leave them alone, give them some time, and chances are they'll start laying pretty quick. Hopefully that answers your question. It's kind of the best I can do off of you know, the little bit of information I got, but that's my assumption, is that it's just a matter of time. You just got to be patient. That's usually the answer on most questions, honestly, but hopefully that helps you. The next question comes from Josie, well, I don't know, Josie Fine Larson 8143. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know if I'm getting all that right or not. Says, hey, I'd love your insight. I'm hoping to build a quail cage similar to yours, so that would be this one right here behind me. Says, let's see, I want to have more than one level stacked on top of each other. I love the easy maintenance with letting the droppings fall straight through. Would this idea work if I had 2 or 3 layers, lowering the height of each one and using hardware cloth in between and no collection tray? Worried that the droppings would get stuck or spread disease more easily. throughout the different levels. Would it work, or is it not recommended to stack cages? Especially interested to know if it's doable to stack without having collection trays. Thanks. Okay, so a couple of things to address in there. I mean, yeah, you can definitely have stacking trays, but what you're describing there, where you're stacking the trays with nothing but hardware cloth between them, not a good idea, because you're going to have birds in every level. Those droppings are going to fall through every single level right on top of the birds that are below it. So not a good idea. You need to have some kind of solid barrier between the stacks, whether that be dropping trays that you pull out and empty, or an easy way, probably a low maintenance way to do that, would be if you left enough room. I just noticed that looks crooked. I don't guess it is. Sorry, I got distracted there. Oh, the black soldier fly too. I'm getting really distracted. Let me get back on track here. So if you leave enough room between the cages where you could put a piece of solid, whatever that be, corrugated plastic, you know, I've seen people use like the political signs, you know, when they're done. Something solid between the rows, but put it at an angle like this. Most of the droppings that fall down will probably fall off in the back. You won't have to manually do that. Leave a little bit of a gap in the front where that thing attaches so that you can get in there with some kind of, you know, push broom type thing, and you can just push that stuff off onto the ground behind it every great once in a while, and you won't have any issues with that. But you don't want to just leave just nothing but wire between them, because what's going to happen is, like I said, the droppings are going to fall through right on top of the birds that are below it. Now, I don't know, getting 3, you can make these cages a little bit shorter, but still getting 3 levels on here might be a little bit tough, because it's going to get pretty tall pretty quick, and you wouldn't be able to access the top without a ladder. So I think you could get away with 2 levels pretty easily with that. I don't know about 3. Like I said, you could shorten this down a little bit, but I still don't know if you could get 3. And you don't want the, let me kind of, hopefully I'm explaining this right. So you've got a solid piece of like corrugated plastic or something like that underneath the cage. You don't want it to attach right up here to the top. You want to leave a gap for it so you can get something in there and push off whatever doesn't just naturally roll off, or spray it off with a hose or something like that. And that would give you the ability to, fairly low maintenance, you wouldn't have to actually pull trays out and empty them, but you're going to be protecting the birds down below them. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the only thought I can think of with that. Let's see, did I miss anything in that question? And I don't know if you're limited on space. So yeah, the only other option, I'm looking back through the comments to see if I missed anything. So the only other option I could think of would be to put like some kind of tray in between them that you would have to pull out and empty. Now you could pull that out and empty it right underneath the hutch if you wanted to, but there's no way you're going to be able to get away without having something in between them. And I think like an angled piece of corrugated plastic, you know, something like that would work pretty well. Most of the droppings would probably just naturally fall off when they dry out. And the rest of them, you could either push them off with something or spray them down and hose them out. You know, something like that would probably work pretty well, and it probably wouldn't be too terribly difficult. Wouldn't be as much maintenance as empty and dropping trays, that's for sure. Anyway, those are 2 answers, or 2 questions, comments I got this week, the last couple of days anyway, that I thought I'd go ahead and get answered. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I've kind of had a hard time coming up with topics because I've addressed about everything I can think of. But I do look through the comments, and if there's something that I can use to make a video, I do make a video on that, even though I haven't really necessarily been responding to comments very well lately. Please leave comments. Let me know if you'd like to see something addressed in video. If it's something I feel like I can do, and I can do without, you know, that I have enough knowledge to do, and do knowledgeably, I should say, then chances are I'll probably go ahead and shoot video on that. So thanks for both of you for submitting those comments. Hopefully I got your questions answered. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the format of this video, and we'll see you on the next one. As always, God bless.